Hello and welcome to Street View for July 2018. Today we're going to be talking about a quick update on our dog guide successes, our trip to Ottawa, a brand new listing out in the Scarborough Bluffs, and the Toronto real estate market update. We've got a jam-packed session. It's summer, so let's get right after it. Starting with our community update, we raised over $4,000 with our Pet Value Walk for Dog Guides. So a big thank you to all of you that came out and partook on a very wet Sunday morning. But those of you that contributed and supported us as walkers, I want to thank you very, very much. It goes to such a worthy cause. Next, we want to talk about, hey, we made a little trip up to Ottawa. I do some training for realtors inside our profession, and our brokerage, Remax Hallmark, flew me up to Ottawa to share some of the best that I've got with some of the top realtors in Ottawa. A fantastic group of people, and I got out and around Ottawa. What a great vibe they've got going on there. And let me tell you, with average prices at around $450,000, there are a couple condo developments right by the waterfront. Zibi, Z-I-B-I, is a great development, and got some great insights from the professionals that are there. Phenomenal opportunities from an investment perspective and or a big lifestyle change right in our nation's capital. That's pretty cool. And lastly, I want to give you a sneak peek of our aerial photography and drone footage that we shot for our brand new listing at 22 East Haven. We'll be sending out a full new listing announcement next week, but what a phenomenal property. Almost 800 square feet, parking locker for $424,000. That's just a little over $510 per square foot. And when we compare that to downtown at over $900 a square foot, you really got to ask yourself, I can be inside the city of Toronto and own a real brand new property overlooking the lake and the surrounding neighborhood for only $424,000. I suspect this property won't last very long, but I knew the footage looks great, so I wanted to share it with you. So to jump into our market update, we know the simple recipe that applies. So as it pertains to supply, we talk about new listings. And new listings were actually down year over year 18.6%. But when we look at collectively the number of active listings, because each month new listings come, some sell, and it's like, what's the net? Well, when we look at the net number of active listings, it's up 5.9%. with a total number of 20,844. So that represents a pretty balanced market, relatively speaking. But you can see how the orange bar kind of follows that seasonal curve. And so it's completely normal for this time of year to have this much inventory on the market. And I think all of us that are active in the market, we're always saying, oh, we don't have enough quality listings on the market. And the summer months are kind of like that. You know, they're hit and miss with good listings coming up. They're rare because a lot of people will choose strategically to wait for a fall market or a spring market to go. But right now, there's a lot of active buyers out there. So good deals can be put together. And that'll translate to the sales and price slides that we're going to talk about next. So now on the supply side, it's the number of sales that are taking place in a given month. And for June 2018, we had a total of 8,082 transactions take place, which represents a 2.4% increase in the number of sales. Yay! And so you can see how the orange bar is just a smidge above the yellow bar, which is last year at this time. And remember, we've been talking about this convergence, this idea of convergence. Well, the number of sales is a part of that. And when you look at the trend, the orange bar through the start of this year, it's very solid. It follows that seasonal curve, and it's performing very steadily. There's not huge action where the number of transactions shooting way up or shooting way down. It's like steady Eddie. And that's cool because that's the kind of market that we feel on the street, with affordability being maxed out and selection being what it is. It's a very balanced market, and it's pretty darn solid. But great to see the convergence now. The wacky 2017 numbers are getting out of the way. You can see how this is going to play out the rest of the year. And it relates to price, so let's get there next. And so the results. This is a slide that a lot of people have probably been waiting for, where we see the orange bar 2018 is above the 2017 bar. It's been a long time since we've seen that, almost a little over a year, about 14 months. And so here it is. It's once again this idea of convergence. We have overall price is up 2% to an average price of $807,871. So $808,000 for an average home inside the GTA. And so this too, you can see, is following the seasonal curve, and that orange bar is just a touch higher than last month, which is a little better than expected. But I would attribute that to the election cycle in the end of May. Last month I was talking about how sales and price felt a little bit softer. As soon as we got through the election, it was like someone flicked the switch, and it was like the market was back on again. And I think the results speak to that the volume, the number of transactions, as well as price are both really steady and growing in small ways. Nothing dramatic, just very small, representing this balanced market. So how does that break down on the individual home types and the different areas of the city? Let's go there now. So here's the slide that we love to break it on down, and we can see how this is divided into the number of sales, the amount of price, and then inside that we can see a column for the 416, the 905, and then the combined, right? And so I would direct your attention to the 4th column from the left that is in the 416. We can look at the different home types, and we can see how for the 416 there's a lot of stability. And just about all the home categories, prices up, not surprisingly. Detached homes year over year are still down just a little bit, just a micro amount. But in every other category, prices up, including condo, which is like 9%. And that continues. Like the average price of a condo is over $600,000 now. And that story continues to play out where people say, I need to find affordability, so 2-bedroom condos are a little bit more in demand. But, classically, from an investment perspective, the 1-bedroom condo or the 1-bedroom plus den is still the best year-over-year appreciating type of real estate, despite the number of 2-bedroom units that are coming to market. It's just that when a 2-bedroom condo in the downtown core, I was doing a valuation yesterday at 399 Adelaide, a 2-bedroom plus den that's around 1,100 square feet, parking locker, is trading just around $1 million. And when you can actually get a 3-bedroom semi in the east end of Toronto, and it might have parking, but a whole house for around the same money, someone says 2-bedroom apartment, give me a whole house with a backyard. Yeah, there's still a preference for the detached or the semi-detached home. And so, those two are a real good benchmark between the two. And it's locationally driven, of course. So anyhow, don't mean to ramble, but I thought you would appreciate the insight. So what else would we say about this? We can see in the 905 that almost all of its home categories as well are positively growing year over year, which is also a first for them. So I would say the 905, in terms of this protracted correction that the 905 has experienced more so than the 416, it's done. And I think the 905 has more inventory on the market, but it's going to start to perform better because the high prices in Toronto are not abating, and it's going to cause that locational shift where buyers are going to go back to the 905 and say, I'm going to have to make this work, just affordability, et cetera. And the transit infrastructure is improving. If you've used a Presto card and tried getting around on it, compared to driving right now in the city with all the construction, it's like I take public transit to some of my meetings now because we live right beside a GO train station and Main Street subway station, and it's faster and it's cheaper and it doesn't have the aggravation and the stress, and you can work while you travel and all of those things. So I think that that's becoming more of a reality for all of us, and it's going to continue to influence real estate values in the core for sure. High demand, high price, and out in the burbs, it's going to be a lot slower.